Dick Cavett is here. From the time he was a young man performing magic in school, he knew one day that he would be famous. A chance encounter with Jack Paar landed him his first job in television on The Tonight Show. Later, he would make his career as a television host, relying on an air of intelligence and wit that set him apart from the crowd. Throughout the 1970s, the Dick Cavett Show brought literate chat to television with guests ranging from Orson Welles to John Lennon. In recent years, he's been absent from television. Today, he has returned to the spotlight, appearing in the Broadway revival of the Rocky Horror Show as the narrator. Here is a look.
Shouldn't have done that. Who the hell do you think it is up here? Mercy, startled me. Feel free to shout out anything you want. I can't believe I said that. Say again. I missed that. Was it a gem? Ah. Come right back at him. Honey, I'm going to bitch slap you to the curb if you don't. I didn't say that. Well, now, this is the Rocky Horror Show.
I am pleased to welcome Dick Cavett to this table for the very first time. Welcome.
It has been. Oh, actually, that's not entirely true.
You've been at this table before?
No, I did a bit in a movie
Yeah.
called Frequency, and they said, wait till you see, Mr. Cavett, we've got your set just like you had it. And I walk in, and here was the absolute duplicate of this table, and I said, he's taller than I am.
Yes, who made that movie? There's somebody, I remember talking about that movie. Who directed you in that little role that you did?
I knew you were going to ask
me
I'm
this. Sorry.
Oh, dear. You know, at a certain age, you can't go on Jeopardy or anything because you know the answer, but you can't access it right away. And there's no way I'll be able to think of it now, but I'll blurt it out as I leave.
Well, my brilliant staff will let us know because they'll be
sure
watching.
They will.
They'll go, I think, you know who I think, without them telling me? Greg Hobbit. Does that make sense? Gregory Hobbit?
That rings a bell.
That's it, they just tell me.
I think it was Greg Hobbit.
Hobbit, that's it.
Yeah, oh, had you just said that already?
No. You came up with that.
How to throw a guest off his chair.
But they had this table, a replica of this table?
They had this absolute thing, and they were looking to me to congratulate them on how perfectly they had duplicated
You think these people who never watch television were expecting...
I don't know what they thought, but I felt like you. I felt taller, and it was just... I think in the movie it's only on the screen. In other words, we never fill the whole screen, those of us who were in those little scenes. But they must have barred your table in the night.
Well, they probably
always get us confused. A woman the other night came down the escalator at the theater, Circle in the Square, and the show had started. But I stand out there because I make an entrance from back in there. And halfway down the escalator, she started with her husband. She started saying, I just love you. I love you so. I love you. Oh, how I love you. And I was wondering what I should do, tactily or anything, to greet her. She went on out of the picture, and the guy said she thinks you're Joel Grey.
No.
Honestly.
Tell me that's not true.
I got out on where you just
Joel's
saw
a
me
perfectly
there.
wonderful guy, but you
He's
deserve
a nice
this on your
guy,
own.
But I tower over Joel Grey, don't I? I mean,
Well, yes, that's right. There
Joel
must be
Grey's
6 or 7 inches at least.
Bless your heart.
And you could have played in cabaret, I'm sure.
Well, I could have. I can pronounce Willkommen, and I was...
and Heil Hitler, too.
And Heil Hitler, yeah. And the other night, a guy on the audience yelled out Sieg Heil, and I said it's Sieg Heil, if you want to pronounce it correctly. Haben Sie die Absicht, den Beruf aufzugeben, which is German for blow it out, and I went on from there. But one night in a club in California, I had just met Eddie Murphy, and I was having a lot of fun with him and his gang. Sat down, and a guy comes over to me and says, can I take your friend away for a minute? Come on, Dick. No, not come on, Dick. That would be the wrong story. Cut. Can I take your friend away for a minute? Yeah. Would you sing something from Cabaret for my wife? He says as he takes it. And I thought, it struck again. I was taking a dance class at the time, and I was also running an hour at a time a day. and I get down to 135. I do look a little like Joel Grey. A little.
Not to me.
Well, no more than you do, but a little.
A little, yeah.
It's never happened to you. Tell me it's never
No,
happened
it's
to you.
never has. Peter Jennings, but not Joel Grey.
Then there's Hey Dick Clark, right? I'm sorry.
Yes,
and
that's all.
that happened to him my way and my way to him a lot.
And then
It's
there's,
nice
didn't
to-
you used to be famous?
Used to be. Those who use the past tense, or that their parents.
Or aren't you somebody?
Yeah, that's another one. And I had a rite of passage on Lexington Avenue the other day. There's some kids there, and I was there, and they were trying to do something with a motorcycle, and they needed to write something down. And a guy turned to me and said, "You got a pencil, Pop?" And I did that.
What the hell is he
you know?
talking to?
Pop? Does it say Pop on here somewhere?
What did you say? No, but you can go shove it and
Yeah,
fold it where the moon don't shine.
Oh, well, hey, you do have some good influences on you.
Now, tell
That's
me.
my that's a notorious moment.
We'll get to that in a
Yeah.
moment. Walking out there every night, Rocky Horror Show, on stage, circling the square. It feels good to be there.
Yes, and I didn't know that it would, and I didn't know quite what it was going to be like. And somebody said there's the narrator, you know, in that. I'd never seen a Rocky Horror Show in any medium. And they said one of the things about it is he deals with the audience. And at that point, my ears pricked up, and I thought, that could be fun if it's what I think it is. Well, it's turned out to have become what I think it is, so that I not only get the fun of being in a Broadway musical, but no two nights are the same for me. Sometimes one wishes they were.
Now you engage in dialogue with the audience.
I do,
And
yeah.
it's not scripted. You just ask. They ask you questions.
They yell out things that are traditional Rocky things, and some that are untraditional, and some that are unspeakable and unquotable. And I have the chance to reply. Often I do in an effective way. And the other night, well, I made the woman stand up who thought I was Joel Grey, and we did 10 minutes back and forth together. And the trouble with improv of that kind is it's fabulous when it works, but it gives you such dread about the following night. A huge transvestite stood up in the crowd one night recently and came down the stairs and stood beside me. It had been determined that she had seen the movie 516 times. This huge blonde beauty, micro mini skirt, 6-inch heels, long blonde hair, and my nose is right between two rubber breasts.
As beautiful as any transvestite you'd ever seen.
The biggest one I had ever looked up to, and it was stunning. And of course, we got a lot of laughs. I said, "Should I ask about your gender?" And she said, "It's a little confused."
Oh, that's good.
And so she knew how to handle herself.
She had her own lines.
Your name, please? And she said, "Champagne." Well, that should have been a clue to something. But you know, Charlie, I was an adult on Dauphine Street in New Orleans, French Quarter, when I first learned that men have Adam's apples, and that's how you can spot a queen often, because men have Adam's apples and women don't.
Is it always one person every night? I mean, or do you engage with many of them?
No, it's you can't. I have no control over it because they can yell from wherever they want.
Oh, I see. So they just shout it out.
They just shout it out. Yeah.
And how do you hear them? Is it they have a boom mic or something that picks them up, or they
It's
just?
the Circle and Square isn't that
that's
big
right,
a
of
theater,
course
so I
it's
can
not.
pretty well hear it. What's horrifying is when three people yell at once, and around each of them some people laugh, and you didn't catch any of them.
Now, do they question you about Dick Cavett's life and Dick Cavett's opinions about the Clintons or whatever?
They will do that. They will yell out things that so totally don't apply to me that apply to the narrator in the movie, that I have to point out to the other people that some of us don't realize when we're at a movie, do we, and when we're at home. And also, of course, going with that is afterwards you think of things to say. You know, what's the great French phrase for that? The great phrase that you thought of, esprit d'escalier, I do believe.
Esprit d'escalier.
If not, someone from Nebraska will call and correct us. When she left Champagne and walked out of my life in the cab on the way home, I thought, why didn't I think to say, "I've told you never to come around when I'm working"?